Hey class, happy Friday. I wanted to check in with you and just say thanks again for all the hard work that you're doing in the discussions this week. Doing a great job following the instructions, following the rubric, and staying on point. The discussions so far are extended, they're looking good. You're doing a great job sharing some fantastic information on the Bayless case. Now, this is a challenging case, as you have already found. It's a challenging case because we don't know everything that went on. We only know what was shared in the media reports, and of course, some of the things that we can find there on the internet, and some of the other research that we do. But this particular case, we have this nurse who's serving as an administrator. She calls 911, refuses to do CPR, even though the emergency medical dispatcher uh, did encourage her to do that. Now, having trained EMDs, I can tell you that that's the thing that EMDs are trained to do. They're encouraged, they're trained to follow a national protocol. Matter of fact, same protocol used in Salt Lake City that's used in London and Paris, just different language. It's been tweaked a little bit for those communities, but it's pretty much the same protocol that's been used. That's part of the priority dispatch system, and that's what they used in this system. So, or in this city, so the emergency medical dispatcher is trained to this international standard to encourage the nurse to conduct CPR. But she refused. She didn't want to listen to what the EMD told her, so she didn't do CPR. She said, hey, I'm not doing it. It's company policy that we don't do CPR. Now, and that is the case that we have to consider. This is an assisted living center. It's not a nursing home. It's not an LTAC, which is a long-term assisted care center that patients go to with their own ventilators or something to that effect. This is an assisted living center, so it's basically an apartment, a complex, condominium, something to that effect, where they rent, lease, buy, and then get very limited service, very limited assistance. As a matter of fact, most of the facilities that I've dealt with in my career, if the patient falls on the floor, they can't even pick them up. Now, they can hand them a towel or something to control the bleeding, assist them with finding their medicines if they're told to do so by the EMD, but they can't do that. They have to wait for paramedics. And this may be a liability issue in some cases, even though they're nurses. It's an insurance issue in that the insurance doesn't provide any care, any benefits, no protection, I should say, for the staff in the facility, because they essentially are assistants or helpers or something to that effect, no matter what their certification may be. So, a little bit of a challenge there in that we have to make an ethical decision about whether or not we're going to provide care for this patient, because in this case the nurse was certified. Even though she was working as an administrator, she was certified or licensed as a nurse, and so she has this training, she's taken this oath, but yet she says, I'm going to follow company policy, I need my job, we're going to call 911. It's obvious that she's passed on, the family don't want anything done, DNR or not, and so we're not going to do anything. We're just going to call 911 and let the paramedics do it. I've done my job, and so with my agreement with my employer. So that's the ethical challenge, and it happens a lot, and that's one of the reasons we shared that in writing this course, is because in law enforcement, homeland security, anything you do, criminal justice, social work, whatever your career goals might be, you're going to be faced with these ethical dilemmas that you're going to have to consider all the time. Do we make the decision based upon the rules? Do we break the rules and face losing our jobs? Is it ethically wrong, or in this case unethical, for us to just disregard the agreement that we have, this contract, whether it's verbal or written, with our employer to follow their rules, even though this particular situation could be considered unethical? So really we could have two unethical situations to choose from, and that is either we follow the employer, the rules, the agreement, the contract that we've established with them to provide care, or not. So that's a decision we have to make. And what's the end result? The end result, I guess, in this case is that The nurse felt like, hey, I'm working as an administrator. I'm doing what my employer has directed me to do. It appears to me that this lady has passed, and the family didn't want anything done. So I'm going to follow those things. The other side of that, of course, is even though they didn't want anything done, we didn't have a do not resuscitate order, or did we? And if we didn't have a do not resuscitate order, ethically, we're bound to provide care. But she decided to go ahead and follow the policy of the company because she thought that was the best thing to do. And it is a norm in these facilities. It's pretty much the norm. A lot of facilities are that way. Again, I think it's because of liability insurance purposes. They don't provide that protection. They don't have that coverage. So if something were to happen, they rendered aid, they may be sued. And so it helps with liability. So the facilities just don't provide that care. So a lot to think about. Ethical decisions, what's right, what's wrong. Sometimes we're not sure. And that's a challenge that we will face in our careers in criminal justice, homeland security, social work, whatever it is we're going to do. We're going to have to make the right decision. And if we make the decision to follow what we believe is right ethically and disregard whatever the policy may be, there's a possibility that that will cost us not only our job, but our career. So a lot to consider, in this particular case. But you're doing a very good job. I am proud of you for working so hard on the discussions and the other assignments. I'm grading it's on Friday, and storms come through here. I've got my office moved, as you can tell. The background's changed. So spent yesterday working on my office. My youngest daughter moved out, so a little bit bittersweet. She's moving forward, and so I got her room, and now I have a much nicer office instead of the one I was in before. So apologies for not getting everything graded yesterday, but working on that today as the storm's getting ready to come through, thunderstorm warnings and possibly tornado warnings. So if I don't get everything done, it's because I'm hiding in the storm shelter, something that's very common in March, pardon me, in Arkansas. This particular line affects the entire state. So just something that we have to do. But I'll have them done by the deadline on Sunday and give you some good feedback on week 2. The thing I want you to pay close attention to as you move forward, get ready to write the papers before this weekend and submit those replies. Pay attention to your grammar. Pay attention to your layout, your organization, and your structure. And please pay attention to AP. I want you to go back before you develop your papers. Before you respond to your peers, I want you to go back and look at those examples of the discussion board posts that I've shared in the announcements, as well as the APA links. And as we move forward, I will pay real close attention to that because I've given lots of information to help you. So first couple assignments, I usually don't do that. I just try to give you a lot of feedback, and then about the third assignment, I start deducting those points because I want you to start using the examples that I've shared with you. As always, there's three ways really, that you can get help if APA, grammar, writing, anything confuses you, the material, anything, and that is 1, call me, pick up the phone, call me, send me a text message, send me an email. We can visit via Skype. The library has good tutors there. It doesn't cost you anything. They help you with writing and APA. They also have some links, and then also the links that I've shared in the announcements, as well as what's available with our library to help you as well. So you're doing a great job. Have a great weekend. It is Friday. I want you to keep going. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. We have a fantastic class. I'm most impressed with the work you're doing. If you need me, I want you to pick the phone up, call me, send me an email. Let's visit via Skype. I will do everything I can day or night to help you succeed. Doing a good job. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this Friday video. Keep rocking.